Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. It's how to transition from the mortgage protection final expense world to the advanced markets world. It's a question that I get all the time, more than ever actually, because in 2015 I made that transition. I went from being a high-level MP producer, driving all over God's green earth in my car, putting 200,000 miles a year on my car. I mean, like, it was insane. 200,000 miles in 4 years, being a little bit dramatic. But you know what I mean. It's one of those things where if you're in the field, you're driving all over the place. And I've been there and I've done that. And I remember in 2015 having a conversation with myself going like, is this it? Like, I'm ready for the next thing, but I have no idea where to start. How do I go from here to over here, and what the heck is in between all of that? And I think it's funny because right now we're Top Rank Advisors, my IMO that I built, is going through a huge transition right now with a few large groups that are coming on. And this is the conversation that's being had is, what in the world does it look like to go from here to here? Because I understand that, maybe you've been selling in life insurance for 5-10 years and you're going through the grind and you make good money, but like, it's all right. I like the annuity. I like the IUL. Maybe you want to become securities licensed. Maybe you want to, be able to be in a tax firm, and you want to be able to add estate planning. I mean, all these things that are just so next level. But how do you get there? And that was the question that I had. Like, what do I do? Because I don't know anything about that side of the world. I don't even know what marketing looks like over there, right? I'm buying MP and final expense leads, and I'm finding some annuities as I go. But how do I find somebody to just talk to that about that's really, truly interested? And that was a conversation. These are conversations that I'm having with a lot of advisors and agents that are coming on board with us right now, because there's some big groups, like I said, that are really making that transition, and I get it. So let me give you a couple things that are really important to pay attention to. And I'm going to kind of give you what I did to figure out the next step. So here's a few things. Number one, I found somebody who was already doing it. I know it sounds simple, but I found somebody that was doing where, big annuity, IUL, AUM, big production. I'm talking about like a $20 million a year producer that was doing the deal. And so obviously when I was making my transition from the MP to the advanced markets world, that was the first thing I needed to seek out was, okay, I need to find somebody that's doing it and that can at least show me or give me a path forward to be able to get to that next level. And so I was fortunate. I did find somebody, but I went out and seek that person out. So you have to do the same thing. You've got to look for the person that's already at this level that can show you a pathway to get there. Because if you're trying to figure out on your own, let me tell you what, that's a very difficult process, because there are things that have to happen, like I said, in between to get to that level. So I was able to find somebody that showed me a way. Now, during showing me the way, I realized a few things. Number one, if you're going to get into the advanced markets world, you have to have an understanding of not just product, but strategy. And I've talked a lot about that in some other videos. It's no longer about being great at a product. It is being phenomenal at an overall holistic strategy. Because you can't go in front of a room and start pitching a 10% bonus on an annuity. No one's going to care. What they care about is how does it affect them and their overall strategy holistically. And that's where people make mistakes. So you've got to wrap your mind around the fact that it's no longer about just a product, right? When I was selling mortgage protection, it was, what was the best product? What was the best life insurance product, term, final expense product? And my entire sale was product driven. When you get to this side of the world, you've got to understand that it's not just product driven. The product is part of the strategy. It is not the strategy. So you have to wrap your mind around that. So you've got to understand, yes, the ins and outs of the annuities, how they work, how they function, the basics of annuities and IULs. And again, my entire academy, if you haven't listened to that, I did an entire academy on the ins and outs of all that stuff that you can go on and get. And we'll put a link below for that. But when you start moving over here, let me tell you what I did. When I found the person that could show me what to do, and he said, Ryan, you got to do this, this, and this. Guess what? I did this, this, and this. I didn't question it. And he said, you got to do seminars, because seminars are a very easy way to kind of break into this side of the world, get your feet wet, learn how to speak and be in front of a room, be the authoritative figure in front of that room, and get people to listen to you. Because when you get people to listen to you and they know you know what you're talking about, then they're going to want to come in and see you. And I was like, well, that makes sense, right? Because I had a mortgage protection form someone filled out, and they needed insurance. They wanted to see me, so I just went. It's the same thing, just at a higher level over here. So I always recommend people, if you're going to get into the seminar space, to get into the advanced markets world, which is the most scalable way of doing it, then you got to understand a couple other things too. Things like Social Security seminars are the easiest, to me, the easiest way to get into the seminar space. They are always attractive to the market. People are turning on Social Security every single day. They need to be educated, and you need to be able to get educated enough to teach those type of workshops. Now, they're not cheap. They're going to be anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 to do a seminar. Somebody like, oh my God, I cannot believe I have to spend that kind of money. Guess what? In this world, you got to spend money to make money. This is a bigger world over here, but the rewards are so much bigger for you on the advanced market space. Because if you can go and you could spend $4,000 to make 30, how many times would you make that trade? Every day, 4 times on Sunday, right? But so many people are so afraid. I got to tell you, for me, I didn't have $4,000. I did not have $4,000 when I started in the advanced market space. I was selling mortgage protection on nights and weekends while trying to study and learn this industry. I was broke. I went out and opened up 3 new credit cards, maxed every single one of them out to do my first seminar. Now, I'm not saying that's what you do. That's what I did. That's what I did to take this thing. And guess what? My very first seminar had 58 people that showed up. I was so bad at doing seminars. It really was still kind of learning the annuity space. I was so bad, but I was still able to do $500,000 in annuity sales and $16,000 in life insurance sales. Man, that changed my entire world. I mean, the commission and the money that I made from that, I took all of it and just dumped it back into more and more and more. And I was doing, seminars every single week, and I was rampant till eventually I got to the point where I could walk away from the mortgage protection final expense. I no longer needed that part of my business because I had made it over to this side. And that took a couple months, by the way. I mean, I was doing seminars, learning, figuring it out, asking questions as I went, and still running mortgage protection night and the weekends because I got a family I got to feed, and I still have to pay my bills. So a lot of the advisors and agents that are coming on with us right now, a lot of people in these groups that are making that transition, this is what I'm telling them, is to don't stop doing what you're doing. It may mean you need to do things differently. Like if you're running during the day, you may need to do nights and weekends so that during the day, when you conduct a seminar, you can see people in your office. Now, what if you don't have an office? Well, there's things called Regis offices. There's Regis office, there's Da Vinci, there's all these different workspaces. Like I didn't have an office when I first started. I used Regis offices because I was doing seminars in multiple states. So I got a Regis membership, and I would use their office for a day. You can rent it for the day. And I would rent the conference room. It was a nice, big, fancy conference room, and I'd bring the clients in. There was a receptionist at the desk. I was broke. I didn't have the money for the infrastructure that we do now. So that may be what you have to do. But during that period of time, again, you've got to be a student of this. Just like you're a student over here on the MP and final expense, you've got to be a student over here on the advanced market space during non-income producing activity hours, right? Sell mortgage protection, final expense nights and weekends. Meet with people in the seminar during the day. Now, you could even buy things like annuity leads too. If you want to buy annuity leads, they have those as well. You can buy some annuity leads. Again, it's still, you have to have a strategy. You got to know what you're talking about. So, transitioning over to this side of the world, marketing is the first step. Now, having a high-level strategy is the next step, and you got to have that too. So it's a double combo. But I just want to talk about that today because, again, I'm getting this question. I think we've onboarded, 30-something advisors already this year that are big. I'm talking about big life producers that are coming over to the advanced market space, and I get it. Those conversations we're having, but they're all moving in the way of seminar marketing. Why? Because seminars are scalable. They get you in front of the right kind of people, and they allow you to learn very quickly. And once you start making money, then you do it over and over and over. Then you can add other marketing things. But I think the seminar world is where people need to be to start. Then you can add things like annuity leads, webinars, branding, social media. You can't get caught up with all. You got to get in front of people. That's where it begins. So I hope it's been helpful for you. I just want to talk about transitioning. If these are questions that you have, feel free to reach out to our firm. Like I said, we've got a lot of big groups transitioning that are working with us, which I'm grateful for. We're not for everybody. It's not recruiting. I'm just saying, since I've been having these conversations so much lately, I thought it was important to come up, have this conversation with everybody. And maybe you're in that process of transitioning, and this just kind of guides you along that next level. Best of luck to you. Go out there and knock it out of the park. If there's anything we can do to help, please let us know. Thanks so much again for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, if you've got somebody that you're trying to help make that transition with, hit the share button. Let me know who else needs to hear this, all right? Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.